Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are diving headfirst into a classic, almost universal mystery of human behavior. We are looking at exactly how unshakable internal authority is built right from the inside out. We've all seen them, right? Those people who just walk into a room and naturally possess this gravitational pull. It's like everyone else just subconsciously orbits them. Well, today we're breaking down exactly how that works by looking at some truly fascinating research across human biology and psychology.
So that's the million-dollar question right there. Why do some chase while others simply attract? Rather than looking at, superficial tricks, rehearsed lines, or just sheer luck, we're going to decode the deep psychological and biological layers of true magnetism. Because as it turns out, that effortless pull some people have, it isn't magic at all. It's actually a structural reality built on a very specific foundation of physical and mental habits.
All right, part one, the biological foundation. Look, we have to start here because you literally cannot project a calm, emotional gravity if your brain is biologically starved and operating in pure survival mode.
This completely flips our traditional understanding of rest. Have you ever wondered why someone can sleep for, say, 5 hours and wake up feeling like an absolute superhero, while you might sleep for 8 and wake up completely drained? It's because your brain doesn't just count the hours, it tracks the quality. Your body absolutely requires uninterrupted deep sleep for physical repair, like strengthening your immune system and releasing growth hormones. But equally crucial is REM sleep. That's where your brain processes emotions and stores memories. If you're getting 8 hours of broken rest, constantly interrupted by stress or blue light, you are completely missing out on that emotional processing. You wake up feeling heavy and unfocused. So quality beats quantity every single time, especially when it comes to your emotional stability.
So how do we actually hack that quality? Well, it's all about math. Your brain tracks sleep in these 90-minute cycles. Waking up at these specific intervals, 4.5, 6, or 7.5 hours, prevents what's called sleep inertia. Sleep inertia is that awful, groggy, slow feeling you get when your alarm just rips you right out of the middle of a deep sleep cycle. By timing your wake-up to the exact end of a 90-minute block, you're letting your biology work with you instead of against you. Your brain just shifts smoothly from sleep straight to alertness.
Now, to actually achieve this perfect rest and hit those critical sleep cycles, you need to use a technique called cognitive offloading. Think about it. You can't just slam the brakes on a car going 100 miles an hour and expect it to stop instantly, right? Your brain is exactly the same way. Enter the 3-2-1 rule. 3 hours before bed, cut out heavy food, so digestion isn't keeping your body awake. 2 hours before, stop working or solving problems. This tells your nervous system it's finally safe to rest. And crucially, 1 hour before, absolutely no screens. Blue light blocks melatonin and keeps your brain locked in alert mode. This precise countdown naturally shifts your brain waves from active beta waves down into nice relaxed alpha waves, perfectly priming you for deep rest.
Okay, so boom, you wake up. The moment you open your eyes, the protocol continues. The very first 10 minutes dictate your alertness for the entire rest of the day. Step outside right away, no checking your phone, and let morning sunlight anchor your circadian rhythm. That activates your serotonin, which drastically boosts your mood and focus. Follow that up with some quick movement or even a splash of cold water to activate your sympathetic nervous system. That instantly releases dopamine and norepinephrine. These are natural energy boosters that completely clear out the mental fog without you ever needing to touch a single drop of caffeine.
Moving right along to part two, escaping the tomorrow trap. Because look, a rested brain is powerful, but only if it's directed correctly. Let's see how dialing in your biology builds directly into mastering your conscious mind and your daily actions. Have you ever promised yourself, man, tomorrow I'm finally going to fix my habits, only for tomorrow to look exactly like yesterday? When you constantly tell yourself you'll do the work later, it actually isn't laziness at all. It's a fascinating phenomenon called temporal self-displacement. Your brain literally separates your future self from your present self, treating them like two entirely different people. So when you say, I'll start tomorrow, your brain genuinely believes some highly disciplined stranger is going to show up and do the heavy lifting for you.
And that walks us right into what psychologists call the intention-action gap. Honestly, your brain is incredibly sneaky here. It gives you a massive dopamine hit, a rush of a feel-good chemical just for imagining the progress. You picture the success, you feel super proud for a split second, and your brain rewards you as if you've already accomplished the goal. But here's the catch. This tiny hit of satisfaction replaces the real action. It traps you in this endless cycle of planning without execution, where you confuse motion with actual progress.
Which brings us to the core issue, brilliantly captured here. One day doesn't actually exist. Delaying effort is just a mechanism to protect your ego from the very real fear of failure. You aren't actually afraid of starting, you're afraid of what happens if you start and it doesn't work out perfectly. So your brain uses one day as this mental lullaby to keep you safely asleep, turning later into never.
To break out of this, you have got to stop waiting for motivation. Seriously, motivation is a myth when it comes to consistent growth. Action creates clarity, not the other way around. You have to start exactly where you are, realizing that the future version of you isn't going to miraculously appear with more discipline or more free time. Bridging that gap between one day and day one is the fundamental difference between simply dreaming about your life and actually living it.
Which brings us to part 3, cultivating emotional gravity. With your biology optimized and that action gap permanently closed, we can finally investigate how this internal authority projects outward into the social world. And this is where it gets incredibly fascinating.
Real attraction isn't built on looks or perfectly rehearsed lines. It is built on what psychologists call emotional gravity. This is a calm, stable energy that literally rewires the nervous systems of the people around you. Human brains are equipped with these amazing things called mirror neurons that naturally copy the emotions in their environment. So when you stay centered, people subconsciously sync up with your grounded calm. It makes them orbit your presence. They feel incredibly safe and drawn to you without even consciously knowing why. It isn't charm, guys. It is pure biology.
This emotional gravity broadcasts a very specific subconscious signal through your tone of voice and your posture. It sends this incredibly powerful silent message: I don't need, I choose. This rare kind of emotional independence sends out a signal of abundance rather than lack. It shows the world that you are already complete all on your own. And when your subconscious operates from that place of abundance, you become incredibly magnetic, simply because you aren't trying to extract value or validation from anyone around you. And that takes us to our final section: purpose over validation. This is the crucial point where internal completeness entirely flips the standard script of human attraction. Usually, people are out there chasing validation to get a quick dopamine hit from others. But when you possess unshakable internal authority, you create what is known as a dopamine reversal. Because you're so calm, self-assured, and maybe even a little bit unpredictable, people actually get a dopamine hit from anticipating your attention. It's the exact same psychological system, intermittent reinforcement, that makes scrolling on social media so addictive. Their brains keep seeking little hits of your attention, which means they literally start chasing the feeling that your grounded energy provides them.
People who naturally attract others have simply built something bigger than external approval. They possess remarkably high self-efficacy, that profound belief that their own actions shape their world. Because they prioritize their life's direction over social distraction, they organically project leadership rather than neediness. It's not that they're avoiding relationships, they simply aren't desperate for them.
And this right here, this is the absolute foundation of quiet confidence. It perfectly summarizes everything we've unpacked in this explainer today. Stop chasing and start growing. The less you chase validation, the more the world wants yours. When you master your own emotions, when you optimize your biology, and you take action on your purpose, people feel that power long before you ever even speak a word.
Because ultimately, true magnetism isn't found in a cheesy pickup line, a trendy new outfit, or waiting around for the perfect moment to arrive. It is a structural reality built completely from the inside out. You now have the blueprint for your biology, your habits, and your psychological presence. So the only thing left to ask yourself is, will you stay stuck in the tomorrow trap, waiting for a future self that doesn't exist to save you? Or will you take action and begin mastering your internal authority today?